So today I want to take a quick minute and share a quick thought. Just came across a very disturbing video, real sweet and simple, about 2 minutes long, and it happens to come from the World Economic Forum. And it has more to do with this whole digital push towards basically tagging and labeling every single entity and every piece of property on the planet utilizing the blockchain space. And so I wanted to take a quick minute and share my thoughts on this because I think it's very important to recognize how it's just not about the currency. It's just not about the things that are being broadcasted on the surface. It's better to go underneath the surface and get a better understanding of what's going on. So let's talk about that. So as I just mentioned, I came across a video from the World Economic Forum released literally a couple hours ago, and it's very disturbing because it plays more into my skepticism of this whole blockchain, decentralized ledger technology. There's no way of escaping this conversation, and outside of the monetary benefits that it positions people to have initially, a lot of people are not thinking about the long-term side effects and consequences of promoting and getting behind a lot of these tech companies that are building ledgers that are designed to help big tech as well as the big institutions as well as governments and central banks ultimately. And so all this early adoption, all this early initial technology we've been exposed to has more so become very exciting to a lot of people because it offers derivatives, in a sense, in the form of coins or tokens that the public, those that are labeled as the financially oppressed, can participate in and also benefit in a monetary sense initially. But I think it's more important to look at what else is going on in the digital space. And of course, it all goes back to the World Economics Forum whole agenda on basically categorizing every single area of our lives utilizing blockchain space. So today I want to talk about the clothing aspect because that's something there's nothing new, but yet this video really highlights some of the key points and key players behind it. And of course, outside of the alternative media realm, no one on the surface is going to talk about it, so I have to touch on it. And so a video I just came across, very interesting because it talks about how they're literally looking to incorporate digital ID using startups, and there's one in particular called Circular ID. And of course, just last week, I think, the EU announced that they have a digital ID passport certificates type of situation due to this whole pandemic. And so the idea of tagging everything and giving people digital identifications, it plays a lot into what I would say happens to be in this book right here, but yet a lot of people may not want to recognize that as being such. But this whole blockchain, decentralized ledger technology space, basically using the benefits of technology for evil, if it plays right, lock and step with what we all knew was going to come at some point. Now, I'm not saying this is exactly how it's going to go down, but once again, as I always say, there are no coincidences in the midst of a planned reset. Everything is done intentionally. And of course, God's going to use it for his glory. So, okay, it's all fine and good. But Microsoft has a partnership with a lot of other startup companies, and they're looking to have basically digital clothing online and running by 2025. That's the time frame mentioned in this video here. One of the issues they're using in regards to going smart with your clothing is the fact that the fashion sector, a lot of pollutants, they talk about that. I think most clothes, approximately 57%, end up in landfills and are never able to be reused again. And they threw out some numbers talking about it probably equates about 10% of total global carbon emissions and things like that. Once again, utilizing the climate change as well as the health situation all together to try to bring about this one unified revision for humanity. And one of the biggest things I thought that stood out from the video was the fact that digitally made products or smart products that are tagged, there's about 5 of the top 20 major manufacturing brands that are already on board with it. And of course, more companies are going to come online. So I want to talk about why is this important, what it's all about, and how you can definitely protect yourself in a sense. So what this is all about, the digital entrapment. Ultimately, a digital form of slavery outside of what we've known before. And so we know, according to the Bible, it's leading to something greater down the line. But these are the seeds that they're laying right now to basically set this all up to where the ultimate goal is to dominate humanity in every single aspect of our lives. Remove our freedoms, remove our rights, remove our opportunity to choose, you name it. All will be packed into all this type of digital stuff that they're throwing out there. And why? because they simply said that it's time for a great reset. And of course, a part of that great reset is the fact that the current monetary system has completely ran its course. There's approximately 290 trillion or so in known debt, both sovereign, corporate, as well as personal. And then you factor in all the financial products and to the tune of quadrillions that they've created that are ultimately coming to an end this decade. And there's no way of meeting those promises. So what better way to give themselves a clean slate and start all over again? To do away with everything in the old, to bring in something completely new in the form of this digital space that they're trying to all convince us to. And so that's why over the last 10 plus years especially, everything labeled smart. We got smart houses, smart cars, smartphones, smart watches, smart this. All is designed to connect to a single server, a single database, and of course use a variety of other tools, software, blockchain stuff, you name it. But ultimately, it concentrates more power at the very top. And of course, Microsoft appears to be behind a lot of things. And who's the head of Microsoft? You guys, you know who it is. And so the ultimate question is, how do we stop this? How do we dial back or slow this down? And ultimately, when it comes to the clothing space, we know that between now and 2025, they're looking to make sure that all items, especially it's probably going to be online, and there'll probably be very few brick and mortar stores in the next couple of years, given the fact that they're trying to intentionally create a complete closure of all small businesses. But ultimately, how do you stop this for yourself? Don't buy clothes that you know companies are supporting things like this. And so as of now, they say 5 of the top 20. They didn't let us know who they are, but I'd imagine if I went online, I could probably dive in a little deeper. But ultimately, you stop it by resisting. You make sure that you and everybody who knows you is aware of this information and that they don't support their own entrapment into this digital system they're creating for us. So I want to take a quick minute, bring these thoughts to you. I'll put the link to this video if you want to see the entirety. But other than that, it's more the globalist agenda to try to entrap and enslave humanity outside of what they've already done to us, utilizing smart technology, their favorite, the blockchain space, to make sure we own nothing and somehow find a way to be happy with it. But I'm curious to find out, hear what you guys think. Where did I miss it? What can I add? What should I have taken away? Leave a comment down below. And more importantly, hit this thumbs up. Hopefully this video gets out to more people, so more people that's not in the community can find out about stuff like this. So share this video with your family and friends. Give them something to think about, because once again, it's happening whether you support it or believe in it or not. But hopefully by being ahead of the curve, you can take action and somehow, some way slow it down in your own life. But other than that, look forward to seeing you later. Thanks.